Everybody, welcome back to another installment of Letterboxd Picks What I Watch. If you're new to this little series I got going on the channel, it's a process where literally a random Letterboxd user will come up, and I will decide the next movie I'm about to watch from their profile, and I'll explain how that works. So most profiles look something like this. So I will basically go to the most recent movie that I reviewed on Letterboxd, which happens to be the movie I just watched for this series. Usually it doesn't end up that way, actually. But I'll go to that movie, go to the most recent review for that movie, and click on that user. And that user will be the person who decides what movie I watch. I think only in a rare exception where they maybe had barely any movies on the profile and none of them qualify, then they wouldn't. But pretty much guaranteed that user will determine what movie I watch next. Not necessarily the next movie I watch, like right after Kill Bill on my profile, but essentially once I watch it, I make another video. That's why it's been a little bit longer for this one. It's taken me a bit to get around to this. But here are the rules. Essentially, I'll go on their profile. Like I said, most look like this. If they have their 4 favorites, I'll just go down the line. The first movie, if I haven't seen it, obviously that's the first thing. It has to be a movie I haven't seen, and it has to be a movie that's available for me to watch, either on any of the multiple streaming platforms that I have, or for $5 or less on just to rent or whatever, So that is most movies. Most movies do fall into that criteria, especially the ones that tend to be favorites. But essentially, go down the line and I'll keep going. The other rule is that it can't be a sequel. And if it's a sequel, it doesn't default to an earlier one in the series that I haven't seen. It can only be a sequel if I've only seen the one prior to it. Like the example I always bring up is I've only seen Mission Impossible 1. If Mission Impossible 3 was theoretically on someone's favorites, it would not be eligible because I haven't seen 2. And we're not going to assume that they have the same affinity for the earlier movie because you don't know. It's supposed to be this user selecting it. So if it doesn't qualify on any of those things, if it's one I've already seen, if it's one that's not available for $5 or less or on streaming, and if it's a sequel, which I haven't seen the previous entry for, then I'll move on to the next one. So I'll go down through the 4 favorites. If somehow all 4 are ineligible, I'll then go to films. Go to films, and then I'll go to their rating. Since it's my profile, it says your rating, but it'll say like users rating highest first, and I'll go that way, and then I'll go through the same process, going through the films until I find one that is eligible. All right. And previously, Kill Bill Volume 1 was the one that was assigned to me from a random Letterboxd user. And I gotta say, it was another success so far. Been very good movies through this series, and I'm grateful for it. What were the other ones? Stand By Me. It was Stand By Me and Shutter Island were the previous 2 that I was assigned. All great movies here. Kill Bill was a lot of fun. It's got such great. It's just fun, purely fun. Some great directing in there, which I expect no less from Tarantino. Some great cinematography in the mix. Just really fun, exciting action sequences. I like the aesthetic. Some of the shots were just beautiful aesthetically. Some great visuals in there. And it's essentially just badass chicks fighting. And I'm not mad at it. So there you go. Also something I do when we find the random user after the movie's decided and locked in, then I will do a little perusal of their profile. I realized that I forgot to kind of do this on the last one. Didn't really look as much into, like, it's fun to look at, like, what kind of lists do they have, what other stuff they have going on. It's like a random little window into someone's film watching life. So let's see. Kill Bill. And we're going to go to the reviews. Not popular. Recent reviews. All right. So we're going to go to Amanda, who gave it 3.5 stars and says, cheesy in the best way, but the pacing was off. Too many feet shots. I did call that out in my review as well. It's like very Tarantino. There's a whole scene focused on feet and trying to wiggle a big toe. Yeah. Expect no less. All right, Amanda, let's see what you got going on. Oh, she watched Superman recently. Amanda, The Birdcage, 1996. This is one I've never even heard of. Robin Williams, Gene Hackman are in this? Okay, hold on. Let me see if it's available. Okay, it is eligible. The Birdcage is available on Amazon Prime Video as well as Tubi and Pluto TV. All right. This is what I never heard of. And so this is nice. The other ones were ones that were big names, you know, Stand By Me, Shutter Island, Kill Bill. But this has got some big names in here. I just had never heard of it. I don't know if I'm living under a rock here. The Birdcage, 1996, my birth year. Come As You Are. Middle-aged gay life partners Armin Goldman, a Jewish drag club owner, and Albert, the club's flamboyant star attraction, live in the eclectic community of South Beach and have raised a straight son. Now their newly engaged son, 20-year-old Val, wants to bring his fiancée, Barbara, and her ultra-conservative parents home to meet his family for the first time. By Val's request, Armin pretends to be straight, not Jewish, and attempts to hide his relationship with Albert in order to please Barbara's father, controversial right-wing Republican Senator Kevin Keeley. Oh, that description just gave a lot. Whoa, okay. Very interesting. Wow. I don't know how I never heard of this. I love Robin Williams, so delighted to just be forced to watch one of his movies at random. Let's see from my few friends I have on here. 4 stars, 3.5. 4 stars, 3. 4 stars, 3.5. All right, not too bad. All right, so The Birdcage will be the movie that I watch. Until then, you won't see another entry. Once you see another entry, you know I've watched The Birdcage. Let's see what else was going on up here. Wow, Twilight was that close to. I've never seen Twilight. I have seen Princess Mononoke, and I haven't seen Lady Bird. Interesting. Looks like they have no lists. 74 films, 12 this year. Oh, no, they do have lists. Don't Kill Dogs, okay. Amanda's favorites, not ranked. Lady Bird, Twilight, Princess Mononoke, Ponyo, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Practical Magic, Your Name, Bones and All. Yeah, The Banshees of Inisherin. Okay, I haven't seen a lot of these, but obviously you can say that about most profiles I'll see. This is interesting. This is an interesting batch of favorites, huh? Yeah, okay, here we go. We've watched 4 of 22, 18%. Sad. And then Eye Candy. Visually beautiful movies, amazing composure, story disregarded. Alright. Monster House, 1917, Corpse Bride. What a mix. Rocket Man, Barbie, Scott Pilgrim, Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse. Alright, cool. That's a cool mix too. I've seen 4 out of 18 here too. Is it the same 4? Amanda, look at that. Wow. Challengers, she gave 5 stars and said it just got edged for 2 hours. I kind of I'm enjoying her taste here. Actually, there's a lot of similar movies that I've been watching recently. Some that are on my watch list in general too. I'm gonna drop a follow, if nothing else, just to remember who this was that assigned me The Birdcage. Absolutely, this is a perfect example for the series of a movie I never ever would have watched otherwise. And I'm willing to watch anything. You know, I'm not picky. Give me a random movie. The less I know about it, the better kind of. Like, I don't really need something to sell me on it. If I hear good reception, I'll just add it to my watch list sometimes. If it piques my interest, just the vague description or what I know of it. So a movie like that I hadn't heard of, absolutely, I'm down for that. It was all decided by random fate just because she just happened to be a very recent review of Kill Bill Volume 1. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time once I've watched The Birdcage 1996.